Gonna check if everything's good to go. All right, what is up, guys? The Strong Boys 19 here. Welcome to the first live stream on my YouTube channel for this year, for 2023. And I thought that I would decide to live stream before the very last day for this month, because the last day is the 28th, which is a Tuesday, and I didn't think it would be possible whatsoever for people that would be interested to check out a live stream around that time, because it's obviously a weekday for a lot of people. But really, since we're chilling on the last day of this weekend for this month, why not just come out here and chill with you guys? So let me know if the audio and the video quality are all good, and I'm just gonna have a relaxing time with you guys. I see a viewer that just decided to click the like button already, so whoever you are, thank you very much for that. So I am always, in a really chill, relaxing vibe, just to see what's been going on for you guys, what you guys have been up to, and, just to, keep things all positive, keeping the peace, and, socialize. Well, socialize-ish, but socialize on the interwebs. So how are you guys doing? Have you been doing well yourselves, mentally, emotionally, and as physically as possible? Have things been all great, brilliant, or just hunky dory? Let me know what's been going on in your worlds, because for me, I have been mega busy, as I usually am, especially with Hardgraft. And we have just done a gig last night, and it was very good. We are planning to grow the repertoire into a collection of songs that we all love to play, and as well as to work on more original stuff. So for those of you who have not seen my band's YouTube channel, Hardgraft Band, all in one word, no capitals, we have posted 2 separate videos of our originals. Both of the video titles do have the copyright logo. The tracks are In and Out and Secret. So if you haven't checked out those videos, besides the random few snippets of covers that we posted on the channel, please do consider subscribing and to check out more of the content. Because we are planning to do a lot more. We are planning to do a lot more of the content, and hopefully put in some more original live performances of the new songs that will be included for our YouTube channel. We do have new plans along the way coming up, but they are all kept to ourselves, because when the timing is right for me to address these things, guys, I would likely be more than happy to talk about it in a video or in a live stream. So yeah, music wise, I've been listening to not as many stuff besides the stuff that I've been listening to practice, and as well as to keep up the work of my productivity on original songs. I haven't been to town for a long time because of the train strikes that has been happening, which is just garbage. It's been absolutely annoying. So that's why I haven't been purchasing anything at all. From the past nearly 2 months. Excuse me. And I wish I would have gone to town just to go to HMV or even Swordfish Records, yet alone I haven't been to Swordfish for ages at this point, to purchase anything of records and talk about them. New album reviews. I haven't done any new album reactions video for new albums at the moment for this year, but I am planning to review some new ones. I would likely be interested to talk about and review the new Gorillaz album, Cracker Island, and also Karol Polacek's album. I can't remember the name of her album. I know that the Needle Drop has given that album a lot of praise. And with the new Gorillaz album that just come out, I haven't got the chance to listen to it yet. Because the album came out yesterday, and as I said before, well, earlier, I was busy with Hardgraft gigging. But yeah, I really like Gorillaz quite a lot, actually. I mean, the last Gorillaz album that I actually did listen to all the way through was Plastic Beach, because I really, really, really like that album so much. But my favorite is this one, the debut album. I know a lot of people say the Demon Days album is their favorite, but I think there's something about this album that I just love. I love the simplicity of this, and this does contain a lot of my most favorite songs from Gorillaz. Obviously, with Tomorrow Comes Today, Clint Eastwood, I love 9 to 2000. There's so many great stuff on this album. But in terms of later Gorillaz, I have not listened to anything from them post Plastic Beach. I know that's going to stir some people, but what more can you do? Just been listening to a lot of the same stuff. Still working out at the gym. Listened to this absolute classic album whilst working out, Terrier by Devin Townsend, which is one of my favourite albums of all time. I absolutely adore this album. This is, to me, Townsend at his finest. I am also going to be seeing Devin Townsend in a few months' time, and I am so looking forward to it because, I love the man. You know, guys, that I have been getting into Devin Townsend for a long while now. Pretty much when I discovered Strapping Young Lad around the time when the pandemic, became a thing in the UK. Zach, I did see your comment. I am doing very well. Thank you for asking, Zach. How are you doing? Hope you're doing great. Is the audio and video quality good at your end? Because I would still like to improve. I'm still going to be trying my best to have the process of, streaming more with OBS and with my webcams, but they are connected to my my Twitch account because I don't stream a lot on Twitch. However, I do post, a live stream on Twitch. Not as often. Hey Jake, finally I am able to catch you live today. I did see your concert review for Gojira, and I can understand why it would be the best show you've seen in recent memory, because they're worth it in person. Yes, they are, but I think the best show for me lately was Slipknot. The third time seeing Slipknot back in 2020 when Behemoth supported them. But this Gojira one is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to be checking out Alien Weaponry a lot more. Employed to Serve were really good, but if you want to see my concert review of Gojira's event, guys, that I did a few days ago, check it out if you want to. I'm fine, thanks. The stream's looking good so far. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Zach, for pointing that out, because I do want to, really care and think about things to do for improvements. I would also like to live stream if I would be able to use my Blue Yeti microphone that I have, and it works just amazing for Discord chats, and I'm sure it'll work out through a live stream on YouTube, and as well as Twitch. Hey, Midnight Social, have you heard the new Hellripter album yet? Album of the year contender for sure. I have not heard of Hellripper at all, to be honest. I would like to do some more new album reviews, and also with more of the frequent episodes of album reactions. Same with classic albums revisited. I am planning to review Souvlaki by Slowdive very soon, and as well as DJ Shadow's, excuse me, album Introducing, because those two are one of the other absolute classics that I do love. Just wanted to ask, as I'm a big fan of Slipknot's album Made, Feed, Kill, Repeat, if your CD copy is close, could I see it, please? It's more of a demo, Zach, but this is a fake. This is a fake copy. Blackened thrash metal from Scotland. That sounds pretty cool. But yeah, this is a fake copy, because if you're trying to find an original copy, there's zero chance, because there were only 1,000 of these worldwide. The big difference, one of them I should say, if you look at the color of this disc, it's like black and white. The originals have green on the brighter colors side. But if you want to have a look at mfkr1.com, I don't know if that website actually still exists, or a website that has a lot of information about Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, please check them out, because they are a great resource for the information. And yeah, I still think that the history behind this demo is fascinating. I have reviewed this when I decided to talk about Slipknot's work when Joey used to be in the band. I still need to review All Hope Is Gone, because that will be my very last review for Slipknot's discography. And I will be reviewing the other band's discographies. I am planning also to review Metallica's discography. Oop, sorry, my Bluetooth settings with this pair of headphones is turned off. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm planning to review Metallica's discography in the coming month of March, because their new album is going to be out in April, and I'm looking forward to that. The only thing about Metallica's new sound, I don't like Greg's production. From what I've heard, from the 2 tracks, Lux Eterna is a really good song. Screaming Suicide was okay. It's not bad of a song, but I really dislike the sound of the drums, the way it was mixed and produced. It's crap to me. I know I've said this before, and I just don't like the production that Greg's done at all. Also, thanks for showing the CD. No worries. Midnight Social again. I saw a copy of MFKR for £100 on eBay recently. I want it, but it's too expensive at that price. Yeah, so the original for this demo will cost you a lot. But this is a demo that is still worth it, with a piece of early Slipknot history. So yeah, there's no chance of buying an original copy of Mayfield Kill Repeat. Also, do not buy the vinyl pressings of it either, because they are all fake. They are unofficial. They have not been released officially on vinyl when it came out. Not even cassette tapes. Don't buy the cassette tapes pressings of Mayfield Kill Repeat either. Because Slipknot had released the demo on CD as an independent band at the time. Yes, I saw that. The guy said it was a reissue, but they did not make it a reissue, and he said it was a fake copy. Yeah, don't buy anything that is not the proper thing. Yet alone that is a fake CD, but I bought that because there were other singles that were involved when I was in the phase of growing my Slipknot collection. Come to think of it, I haven't bought a lot of stuff to grow the collection for ages. The last time I did buy something that's Slipknot related was the limited to 1,000 copies CD pressing of The End So Far. After I did buy the just a regular jewel case CD version. I didn't buy the limited, separate band members album cover designs of The End So Far. I just think that was a generic idea. I'm glad the guy didn't say it was real and scam. Yeah, you can't trust a lot of sellers. You can't trust anybody, actually. It's just the harshness of reality a lot of the time. So yeah, I need to purchase some stuff that are more or less up to my biggest satisfaction of original pressings and some reissues. But unofficial pressings, I have actually got a few in the collection that I'm not too bummed about. What I would love to buy that should be in the collection by now, this point, is the CD deluxe remix box set of Revolver by the Beatles. And I am going to be planning to post my re-recorded reviews that I had done more than a year back of the first 3 Beatles albums, because I definitely need to come back and review the rest of the Fab Four's discography. Yet alone, it was George Harrison's 80th birthday yesterday. Crazy. And also, in a few days' time, Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon will be 50 on the 1st of March. Jeez. And can you believe the attention that the video that I've posted had received? Because of my views on Roger Waters' re-recording of Dark Side of the Moon. It was just ballistic with a lot of comments. The most amount of views and comments for a long while. And I'm not a bragger, I'm not a boaster about, wanting views. But it's the attention that it got that just surprised me. It was just recent news. I thought, just do a video about it. And it blew up, which is amazing. For the fact that, most of the comments have been pretty much on the same ways and feelings like I had said these views. Some of them not so much. But anyways, I didn't care if there were going to be negative issues of behaviors. I believe Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power album turned, 31 yesterday. Yes, it did. Thank you for pointing that out, Zach. It is my favorite Pantera album, and even though that it's not one of my top 25 albums of all time anymore, but Vulgar Display of Power is still to me one of the greatest metal albums of all time and of the 90s. I need to listen to some more of the Black Sabbath live stuff, because I dug out my Technical Ecstasy Super Deluxe box set, and I'm going to be playing this at some point. The Technical Ecstasy Live World Tour, and I haven't listened to any of this yet, so I don't know what the sound quality is like. However, the live album that was included from the Sabotage box set, that is Sabbath at their absolute best. The best guitar sound, drum sound, and bass. It's so raw, and it's just phenomenal. Possibly Sabbath at their best sound as a live band. Besides the few of the cock-ups that were recorded and just left in, but it was just outstanding. And somebody else posted the exact same live recording of that show before the Sabotage box set was even a thing. I think it was called the Soundhouse tapes, the legendary Soundhouse tapes, or something like that. I mean, you can listen to that same live concert on YouTube, but listening to it in its purest physical form, wow! Crank your speakers up and listen to it. You know, it's just phenomenal. But yeah, the Technical Ecstasy World Tour live album, I need to give it a play. And yet alone, Technical Ecstasy is one of my favorite Black Sabbath albums, because I know a lot of people have been loving it or hating it. This is possibly, along with The Eternal Idol, one of the most underrated and misunderstood Black Sabbath albums. I am also going to be planning my video of doing my my top 10 favorite underrated albums. I was originally going to be doing it a few weeks back, excuse me, but I didn't, because change of other videos I decided to do, and band work. Anyways, so I only have one record to show for the update. A few nights ago, I went to one of these regular live venues in the Birmingham music scene, and it was an open mic night thing. I just chilled out and had a drink. And there was a musician who was a later member of Ocean Colour Scene. And this musician is called Andy Bennett. He wasn't in Ocean Colour Scene from the start, so he joined the band in the early 2000s. But this is an album of his called Thinking, Drinking, Singing. He just did a few songs through his brief acoustic open mic set. And he was selling records, and this being the very thing. So I paid 15 quid for this. Even though that I have not seen him before or previously, he was very gracious enough to sign it, which is awesome. It's not released through a major label, it's through an independent label. So I have no idea what this is going to be like, but I will be looking forward to checking this one out. If you don't know Ocean Colour Scene, they're a band from Solihull, and they have been one of the other popular Britpop rock style bands who were really big as Oasis and The Verve. But yeah, like I said, Andy wasn't with Ocean Colour Scene from the start. But he did a few records with the band and live stuff. I'm looking forward to check this one out. Today's also the birthday from Johnny Cash, which he would have been 91 years of age. Johnny Cash, you can't go wrong with, to me, one of the greatest musicians of all time. I haven't listened to his stuff for ages again. It's quite an inspiration for me as well, because I loved listening to Johnny. With the At Folsom Prison live album and the San Quentin one, and some of his records. I have a lot of nostalgia for Johnny Cash's music, actually. Yet alone, I haven't watched back Walk the Line about Johnny. I know that has Joaquin Phoenix in it. I love Joaquin Phoenix. So I'm going to be revisiting that movie because it has been some years since I have last watched it. Um, but yeah, pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to know stuff like this. So yeah. So how's everything with you guys? Been busy, doing yourselves in a very, very good and healthy state. What's been going around in your universe? And I am going to be continuing on my productivity because being in the band that I am in with my best friends ever has just been a huge, big deal for me. I still feel very, emotionally gracious to feel that connection and the attachment that I have with my bandmates and friends around me, because the infinity side of my gratitude is, endless and it stays there. I've been through many different eras as a musician, and my career is still going, which I am very, very happy to report. The positive mental attitude has been super big. You know, earlier today I've lost power for almost 3 hours. Oof, that's a F in the chat. And it started snowing for a while, but right now I'm hoping to get another vacation out of the way, hoping to aim for one in the summer or end of, excuse me, 2023. That sounds good. Sorry to hear about the loss of your power. Um, I always find it weird though that people would decide to go on vacation before the main the main season for lots of people's time to go on holidays, which is summer. I don't get it. Why people would go to some vacations that they decide to plan ahead and travel around late winter, springtime. Excuse me. But that's just me. Personally, my own my personal view on that. So, as I mentioned earlier about the original side of Hardgraft, they are coming a long way by this point. We are nearly onto our fifth song, and I won't say anything else about that because um, I've said it earlier and I'll say it again. If there's going to be some more exciting plans of where these originals are going to be in terms of the direction of the band and as well as with the industry of music, if something really cool is going to happen, then I will make an announcement about it on this YouTube channel. That's another reason I collect CDs. If you rely too much on streaming sites, you'll have no way to listen to music. Yeah, I only use Spotify when I work out inside the gym. Um, and besides that, I decide to listen to music if I travel somewhere, just to go to town or, listen to music to go to the gym and listen to something else while working out. Um, and if that does happen, and you have no CDs, you're kind of stuck with no music. I would say that you are still in with the music, but not releasing it physically for me is it's not really the main purpose. I mean, if we plan to release music through, I don't know, DistroKid, I mean that could still give potential, but I am always a physical copy person. Um, and I would personally like to release stuff through CD and vinyl, but making stuff of your own art and then to spend a lot of money for planning some busier work of printing the music out on CD and vinyl. It's really hard work, but taking step by step approaches, then it's going to make things very new to me still, but I'm going to be doing it. And as well as the rest of the band. John Daly covers. Hello, I hope you are doing very well. And I hope that you are doing yourself a very positive mindset and enjoying yourself. Enjoying yourself in a way that you just feel intrigued and engaged to hang out for a bit. So that's what really impressed me, is that there are so many bands like in this younger generation that that can make music, share their own art to an audience, yet alone at the same time that they do feel the passion, that they do want to be involved with other people just to put music out. There's a lot of the complexity surrounding making music, and even more importantly, to promote it and recommend it to, engage a new audience. It is difficult, but it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop the work that I love to do. I know there's just a lot of the policies and the whole, money side of things, as I've mentioned just now. But what's more important than to, keep going and, not stop. Keep working at your own pace. Work on the music that you are inspired to make and, attract a new audience. I make homemade CDs with our A4 printer for my music. That sounds cool, Zach. I've wanted to see Depeche Mode in November since they're coming to my city, but the prices are just absolutely ridiculous. I really got to love Depeche Mode last year. I'm looking forward to their new album. I haven't heard any of their new stuff yet. And not to say their next album be out next month, making it their 15th album. 15 albums, that is great. My favorite Depeche Mode album, besides Violator, is possibly Songs of Faith and Devotion, even though I really like Music of the Masses, which is another one of my favorites. I use streaming sites for music because it's good to check out albums, and if I like them, then I buy physical copy on vinyl. That's what I think a lot of people should do. They should, discover a lot of new things by, either YouTube or, as you say, Spotify. And if you like the sound of whatever the music is, then just go out to town, or your local regular record music shop and buy. So I use both. Yes. If I get inspired by a sound, I would definitely like to buy stuff and listen to this type of genre or that genre. But the way I make music is that I do get inspired by the sound of an album, or the sound of a song or a particular genre. Most of my most of my inspirations for the band's original stuff that we've been doing has just been quite well, not progressive, like not like prog rock, but I mean in like um kind of like a mixture into some more um various rhythm sections and guitar effects. But you know, if you want to check out the two original songs on my band's YouTube channel, then I highly recommend share the stuff around and definitely recommend this stuff to your folks, your audiences, and just typed in my band's YouTube channel in the chat if you guys see it. But it's not just all about me. The whole band is family. You know, the whole band is a family with my favorite people in my life. So yeah, some great reward be my favorite, up there with Black Celebration. Black Celebration is really good. But it's so awesome they're continuing to music all these years and became such a cultural impact on the newer generation of artists. That's been something that a lot of people um, have been doing for a lot of bands lately. I think Depeche Mode, has been a household name for years, in the synth pop, new wave type of genres. And, they're mega important. They are mega important. Um, I think Depeche Mode has been one of the best and greatest bands around those particular genres. And it is amazing that their discography has been incredibly unique and, still worthwhile to listen to. I still remember the first time I've heard a song that's actually covered, that was a Depeche Mode track, hearing Marilyn Manson's Personal Jesus and Lacuna Coil's Enjoy the Silence. But yet alone, at that time, I didn't know it was Depeche Mode, those two songs. Um, Same with Sweet Dreams, Marilyn Manson's cover, even though it's a big hit for a different band. Do you prefer vinyl or CD? I am a vinyl person, always, but I do have a lot of CDs. That's not all of them. Not all these from the top, involving those CD box sets to down there. That's not all of them, because I have my CDs placed in various shelves. Ryan, good to see you again, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Welcome to the stream. Glad to see you folks coming in very, very nicely and enjoying yourselves. Ryan, hope you are doing great. We've just been talking about music, a bit of Depeche Mode to my band, and records and tours because of Depeche Mode touring. So yeah, and even the quick mention of Gojira from Jake. And yes, Black Sabbath as well. How can I forget Black Sabbath? But anyways, far as music goes, it's been mostly Rammstein, Godflesh, Fear Factory, Nine Inch Nails, Strapping Young Lad, Faith No More. Some great selections there, Jake. I'm doing good, thanks. I'm very glad to hear that, Ryan. Been listening to a lot of prog rock. Genesis, King Crimson, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Jethro Tull, Yes, and Pink Floyd. Perfect choices for those genres. I do recommend Gentle Giant as well, because they are another household name in progressive rock. Um, will you ever do a video of your top 10 favorite bands? Unless you have already done one. I haven't. Top 10 favorite bands? Um, I mean, I could, but I listen to a ton of genres. So I guess I could split it for top 10 rock bands, top 10 metal bands. Um, I'll be thinking of doing something of a list like those, because a top 10 video of your 10 favorite bands, that's really difficult. It's way too hard because I listen to a shit ton of stuff. I've listened to Octopus by Gentle Giant, and it's a masterpiece. Yes, it is. By the way, which Gentle Giant album is your favorite? Um, I think, from what I've heard, probably Octopus. I know that later Gentle Giant fans and albums have been slated, and not very well received. But yes, Gentle Giant are still an important progressive rock band. I think, to me, my favorite always band in terms of progressive rock, it's Pink Floyd. Besides King Crimson. Do you guys remember that I used to be so obsessed with Discipline, and I have actually reviewed Discipline for Classic Albums Revisited. I still think this could be my favorite King Crimson album. That's Earthbound, back there, which I've heard is like a really weak or just mediocre recording of King Crimson's performance. I think it was through the Islands era. I think it's there. But anyways, yeah, Pink Floyd and King Crimson are my two favorite bands in progressive rock. So what have you guys been listening to in terms of new albums? I haven't listened to a lot. I need to review Gorillaz' Cracker Island album, and I need to discover some more bands, not only for rock and metal, but for a lot of stuff, different genres, because I like to, present some versatility around the journey that I will be whenever I listen to music. For me, my top favorite prog albums are In the Court of the Crimson King, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, Brain Salad Surgery, Thick as a Brick, Close to the Edge, and Animals. Some great stuff there. Excuse me. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway is my fourth favorite Genesis album. Thick as a Brick is not my favorite, but it is really, really good. I think my favorite Toll album at the moment is Aqualung, although Minstrel in the Gallery is fantastic. I love the new Insomnium, one of my favorite melodic death metal bands of all time, and it's by far my favorite release of the year. I have heard of Insomnium. They're a pretty cool sounding melodic metal band. I know that the Metal Meltdown did review Insomnium's new album, I think. By the way, if you haven't watched the Metal Meltdown, go and check that Canadian metalhead out. Awesome YouTuber, some great content. John Daly covers, not really new, but been listening to the likes of Led Zeppelin, Elvis Presley, Eric Clapton, and Phil Collins. Yeah, some solid picks there. I do love some Zeppelin and the king of rock and roll. Just wanted to ask, is anyone here a Drowning Pool fan? or heard of them. I have heard of Drowning Pool, but not a lot, because we all know Bodies. Not a fan of Drowning Pool, but I respected them as a band. But Bodies is such a meme of a song, to be fair, you know. Um, Not to say that I would disregard them, because they do have the talent. They did try, to get a lot of the attention, which they did. But there were other bands that were skyrocketing, and Drowning Pool's a pretty solid band. That's my favorite Genesis album. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway is a masterpiece. Every song on that album takes you on a journey. It is a great journey. But for me, I think I would personally listen to The Lamb than The Wall by Pink Floyd. It's just that The Lamb Lies Down is so out there. It's really challenging to really digest the story. But it is a great album, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. It's one of the most unique concept albums. And even Phil Collins said that it is his favorite Genesis album. I still think the story surrounding the album is almost like watching a film at the same time, just like The Wall. I stopped listening to Gorillaz after Plastic Beach, but I will give their new record, a shot, but only heard a couple tracks, and so far it's not bad, but not as magical and faithful to say the debut. Yeah, I've heard mixed things about the band, since around the time when Humans came out. I haven't listened to that, not The Fall, and not the Song Machine album yet. John Daly covers, but my heroes will always be Queen. If it weren't for them, I'd have never got into music. Yeah, Queen are a great band, but I will say this, that in my opinion, that Queen has, personally, in my opinion, made a lot of very overpopulated singles that I just got tired of them. And not all of them. Some of them are still classic bangers. But I've just been pretty much done with Bohemian Rhapsody and, Don't Stop Me Now. It's just way too bloated in popularity. And, I mean, they are great songs, yes, but it's just the mentality of overplaying the shit out of those songs. It just ruins the vibe to me now. And that's why I personally think that Queen are, at some points to me, an overrated band because of the singles. There should have been a lot of non-album singles that have been that have been there, but they should have been played as continuously, not just the singles all the time. That's the biggest problem that I have with a lot of big hit singles bands. Like the Rolling Stones, for example, and the Eagles. But yeah, Queen is a big one for me in terms of that conversation. John covers again. Also, is it just me who loves the Collins era of Genesis better than the Gabriel era? I mean, that's great to hear that, but I am a prog rock fan, and I think when Peter Gabriel used to be in the band, that was when Genesis were at their prime and their best. And I think A Trick of the Tail is the last masterpiece. How they pull it off after Gabriel's departure, it's just amazing. I really like some of the poppy Genesis stuff, although I have not reviewed all of their stuff yet. So I need to come back to Genesis and need to review the records from Nursery Crime and onwards. I like some songs with Peter, but just some of the songs I can't connect with. Yeah, prog can be pretty challenging and not for the easiest of listening experiences, but don't give up. At least just respect and appreciate the art styles. Ryan again, Lamb. Stop disconnecting, YouTube, you fucking idiots. Sorry about that, guys. Was about to say that The Lamb is a better album than The Wall. So I'm not the only one there. Um, Zach, Bon Jovi will always be my all-time favorite band. That's cool. They mean a lot to me, and uh, they're a very sentimental band to me. That's awesome to hear about it. Even though that I still think Bon Jovi is overrated, but you can say whatever you want to say with a band like Bon Jovi that has made such an impact in your life, and that's awesome. I mean, Slipknot for me means a lot to me, as well as some other bands for nostalgia's sakes. Old Green Day to Trivium, Korn, and Machine Head, Black Sabbath. You know, some classic rock stuff. Excuse me. Ryan, I prefer the Peter Gabriel era albums than the pop stuff they did years later. Yeah, I am always the fan of Genesis with Peter Gabriel. I'm looking forward to his new album. His first album in 21 years of original stuff. I'm anticipated because, you know, Peter Gabriel's a genius, one of the greatest musicians of all time, and I do love a lot of his work. Sedition, Jake, same views on me with Guns N' Roses. I got tired of hearing Welcome to the Jungle. Definitely Sweet Child of Mine. Fuck that song. Paradise City, etc. And to me, there's just better tracks that don't get much attention from people. You know how I feel about Guns N' Roses. For those of you that know. But yeah, I can't stand Guns N' Roses because of the overhypeness and the overplay. System of a Down to me is my favourite band of all time, and I got to see them twice, and without them I wouldn't be huge into music or even discuss it as a whole. System of a Down are another nostalgic band for me in terms of that involved connection of the sentimental emotional connection, excuse me with words, when I listen to music. What do you think of Peter Gabriel's new songs, Panopticon and The Court? Did you give them a listen? I did listen to Panopticon and I really like it. It's a really good song. The Court I've not listened to yet. You know, because I don't want to spoil the whole vibe about, you know, new material until a new album comes out, personally. Yeah, I know that I did listen to the new Slipknot singles before The End So Far came out, but with Peter Gabriel, I think his music's more of an experience, and I would love to hear all of this album in its entirety, and will be reviewing it. That's probably my most anticipated album of the year, because, you know, he's one of the greatest, and one of the other origins of why art is still super big and relevant for music. Are you still a big fan of the Beatles? I would say they are they are second on my list behind Queen. I'm I'm a big fan of the Beatles, and yeah, I adore them. I adore the band. Um, and I'm looking forward to review all of the studio albums, because, you know, who doesn't know the Beatles? As Serge Tankian did say that. Um, but yeah, I do agree with that sentiment, and that sentence. The Beatles is everything in music history in terms of popularity, influence, worldwide fame. Um, but yeah, you can't go wrong with the Beatles. So we are nearly an hour into the stream. I am probably gonna do another hour, guys, because I would like to wrap this up at 9:30 in the evening, UK time. But so far, I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much and sticking around with me. Favorite Beatles album, White Album, says GG Music. Hope you're doing well. Um, favorite Beatles album, White Album. White is probably my favorite. My favorite Beatles album is the tie of two of my favorite albums of all time, Revolver and Sgt. Pepper's. Who's your favorite Beatle? Lennon. Always. My favorite. He's my favorite musician. Ryan, for me, my favorite band of all time would be a tie between Deftones and Korn. Korn's music changed my life completely, whereas Deftones helped me to look at how experimenting with other genres. That's a really good thing to explain it that way, because I am a big fan of the later Deftones. I mean, yeah, I love White Pony. It's my favorite Deftones record, but I'm a huge fan of Saturday Night Wrist, Overtime. I love Koino Yokan. Um, Even though Gore is my least favorite Deftones album, there are still some great stuff on there. Um, and I still think that Ohms is the band's best album since White Pony. Um, Very nice shout. Cheers, man. John covers again. Have you heard the song by George Harrison, Your Love Is Forever? Beautiful song. I haven't listened to a lot of George's own solo stuff. I heard all of Lennon's stuff solo. Some from Paul McCartney, none by Ringo Starr, other than just a few songs. I've heard not very good things about Ringo's own solo stuff. But I do know that George Harrison's like the most experimental Beatle, besides Paul McCartney. Paul's music is very, very different, but into the rock and pop eras. George's music was so diverse. Lennon's is personal, and Ringo's is, you know, sometimes very mediocre music. But I'm not knocking Ringo off because I love each of the Fab Four. And yet alone the voice of Ringo has given me nostalgia before I even got into music. But Lennon is always my favorite Beatle, and his first solo album, Plastic Ono Band, is my second favorite album of all time. And to me, the greatest solo album by anybody. And I defend my opinion on that. I haven't listened to his stuff for ages either, yet alone reviewed his work. I did review Plastic Ono Band. I need to re-review Imagine because I wasn't happy with the way it turned out. Yet alone I have to talk about Sometime in New York City. Yeah, I do see the argument that Plastic Ono Band's not the first thing he's ever done. Besides that, his work with Yoko Ono happened earlier. It's crazy that Yoko's 90 now. I like Yoko, and I don't care what anyone says, because I think that Yoko is a very unique musician, and I defend my support for Yoko. Yeah, I know that she's a total meme, and lots of people hating on her, but I don't care. I like Yoko on some of her stuff too. But yeah, I wanted to focus more on Lennon's, work than with John and Yoko for Two Virgins and Life with the Lions. So I just wanted to go into Plastic Ono Band, Two Double Fantasy, because those albums are always involved with Lennon most of the time. Yet alone Sometime in New York City had some Yoko stuff on there too. But I still count my choice of reviewing most of Lennon's stuff. So yeah, say what you say about Yoko's stuff, but I appreciate her own music and vision. Not all of them is as great, But, that's personally my opinion. And I think Yoko sometimes gets overhated. Oh, it's quite a ramble. Need to hydrate in a minute. Uh, Shut up, phone. Bloody notifications. True. I hate how some people like to hop on the hate train. Yeah, it's the internet and people for you. Ringo's very good on CD. I have heard the best things about that album. I haven't listened to a lot of, well, not a lot of, but any of solo stuff done by Ringo Starr, because I think that the rest of the other Beatles stuff, solo wise, has been, great. Some very good stuff. Yeah, and Good Art by Klaus. Yeah, Klaus Vormann with his classic legendary artwork for Revolver. Manfred Mann musician as well. Um, which classic rock bands you've been to see live? Um, in terms of very popular bands, none, because most of them are classic blues or rock bands, are from the 70s and the 60s. Um, yeah, but actually, having said that, I have seen the Who live. That's the only time I've seen a classic rock band live. I've seen the Who played all of Quadrophenia for the first time, in terms of my experience, playing all of Quadrophenia to celebrate its 40th anniversary, and it was the Quadrophenia and More tour. They did all of that album, and they played some of the hits after the Quadrophenia show. What a classic album. I could go on about Quadrophenia. It's my favorite double album of all time and concept album. Yeah, so it's the only time in terms of classic rock bands I actually did see live. I would have wanted to see the Stones. Um, and in terms of other big bands live, I did see Yes. I did see Yes twice. And they were brilliant live. But I think the state of Yes now, they need to retire. I know, yeah, a lot of people say the same, retirement talks for Ozzy, but now that Ozzy's retired, it's for the best for him. But I think Yes has just been going off the rails a little bit, in my opinion. Yet alone, The Quest to me was not a very good album from the band. And, the passing of Alan White, which was, you know, gutting to me, because Alan White's been one of my favourite drummers, and now he's been replaced with another permanent drummer. Yes has, been hitting the rocks. John again. I wouldn't say I was the biggest Stones fan, but again, I do like a few songs from them. I'd love to get into them more. 60 years as a band, very hard to believe. Yeah, over 60 years as a band, just outstanding. Outstanding. Um, One of the greatest rock bands of all time. And I just have a lot of the great pleasure of talking about the Rolling Stones because they are another all-time favorite band for me. That whenever I listen to one of my favorite albums from them ever, I always have a blast. And Exile on Main Street is one of my top 25 albums of all time, and another one as well. That's one of the top 10 favorite double albums. Um, but yeah, if you want to see my ranking of the Rolling Stones discography, check it out. Yet alone, some people have decided to say, just because the way I've ranked Black and Blue so low in the list, they say I'm out. For fuck's sakes, it's just an opinion. I don't like the album very much, and just because you think it's right to say that, I just ignore those types of comments. I think Black and Blue is one of the weakest Stones albums. Um, and I don't get the love about the record because I think that record is so unpolished, and it's all over the place. It's all over the place with very bad covers and mediocre songwriting. Um, I really like the sound of on MFKR, excuse me, and was wondering if you know any albums slash bands what sounds similar. I really don't know because by that early point of Slipknot's phase, they were so different as a band. Before they were into the new metal millennium, as I just suddenly said it like that, uh, with that extra word. Excuse me, but I'm not really sure. But because the demo is all over the place, there are some great songs on there though. Some riffs from that demo would later on be used again for Slipknot when they became very popular. Excuse me. So you listen to some of the songs from that demo, and even something from the Crows bootleg, which is another great listening. And you can think to yourself that riff sounds similar, and then you listen back to a much later Slipknot song, you will realize that they've used previous riffs from old songs, but used them for proper Slipknot music, in terms of more completed written ones, which is fascinating. So listen to the track Slipknot, and also another one which is Carve. I wish they re-recorded Some Feel in the self-titled era. That song is amazing. I wonder what Corey would have done. Yeah, Some Feel is my favorite from the Made for Kill Repeat demo, but I think that is not the type of sound that I would personally want to hear for the debut album, because I think that's more groove. It's more of a groove album. Groove album? Groove song, sorry. Do you listen to music every day? I do, as much as I can. I do, but I haven't played a lot of my records for a long while now. But I am planning to listen to the Black Sabbath Technical Ecstasy World Tour live album from the Technical Ecstasy box set. Yet I did mention earlier that I listened to Devin Townsend through my Raycon wireless Bluetooth earbuds when I work out inside the gym. Album reactions, by the way, will be on a much older album that I am going to be doing, and the album that I will be including in the video was the debut album from Candlemass called Epicus Doomicus Metallicus, and I will be doing a video reacting to that album because I have bought it on CD. So, yeah. Zach, I'm glad that Corey did not re-record Confessions. Anders' voice is perfect on that song and fits it so well. Corey wasn't with Slipknot at that point. Corey was with Slipknot even when Anders used to be in the band. You can check him out. There's a live video of Corey with Anders, live 1997, I think. But yeah, Corey did not join Slipknot, I think, until 1998. And then Josh Brainard, who was the second rhythm guitarist, along with Mick, who worked with the band for the debut album, Josh Brainard decided to leave the band, and then he was replaced by Jim Root. Bet you didn't know that, Zach. Josh Brainard was with Slipknot from the beginning until he decided to leave the band after completing the recording for the first album. Ryan, again. Music will always be a part of my daily basis. My creativity, my music, my mental health, and more importantly, inspiration. Inspiration is key. That is the way to go. Yes, I've seen that. Anders said he felt betrayed by the band as he was on holiday when Corey got into the band. Well, I think Anders left because, you know, I think it was with creative differences. And yet alone, I think it was Donnie Steele who left the band after the completion of Mayfield Repeat because of religious releasing views, you know. But yeah, I think Slipknot in the end was better off without Anders. Well, I really appreciated Anders' contribution to the early sound of Slipknot. But yeah, I think Slipknot has always been the founding members of Joey, Mick, and Sean. And yet alone, Josh Brainard and Donnie Steele had been involved to a certain extent. And Craig 133 Jones. But Anders isn't Slipknot. Jim recorded a few songs on self-titled. One song may have been Me Inside. Probably Me Inside. I have done a very long review of the debut album with EQP TV on my YouTube channel if you guys are interested to check it out. And I did review Iowa with Richard Metal Fan and Sedition Through Scorns as well. Another plug. Their producer was a Christian as well, and the band would find Donnie talking to him. That's interesting. Well, yeah, I don't think you should take more of the interest in religion and leave another part of you behind that is whatever it is, maybe acting or music. You can just be religious, like you have your own beliefs, but just don't leave your own passion and work because of religion. Unless if it's something personal, then it's up to their choice. But I don't think religion is always the main thing when it comes to a person. I'm not going into this type of thing very deeply, but just accept yourself as who you are, whether you are religious or not. But don't take it too seriously to think that religion is more important than what your day-to-day work and passion is. Because I think a lot of people nowadays would really just accept and appreciate what their interests are, of whether it's politics to entertainment and arts or whatever. But if they have anything to believe in, then just accept these types of people for who they are. But don't be one of these people that, if you are one of these groups who are religious, to just don't force feed these beliefs to people just because that they don't think the same way as you. And that's what I really, really don't like. That some people would try and get the attention span of, grabbing attention to others to tell them to, get into their beliefs. Yeah. I'll leave it there because I know some of you guys maybe are religious, but yet alone, I don't want, just the whole purpose of something that is controversial to be, skyrocketing. Except politics have alienated the public. Yes, they have, especially in the UK. Or in this case, people alienate themselves away from politics. Why can't everybody just, accept other people's choices? Share their voices, share their art, instead of retraining and, just to be told by the man. Yeah, it is alienating, as you said. Um, but yeah, I think with that being said, guys, might as well wrap that bit up there. Um, Yet alone, I have mentioned briefly about the whole community of religion side previously from I think it was from my last live stream. But with my opinions, they stayed they stayed true to me. They're not facts. I just hope things like that wouldn't be, excuse me, taken into serious context and consequences. Oh God, if I could talk right. But yeah, just do what you like to do, share what you will, and you know, do it as you will, and appreciate anybody by who they choose to be. Let them live their life as I do for me, and be open. Be open about anything, and the whole thing, being involved with you guys is the connection and the engagement that we all still have. And going into topics on what you guys have been saying to me, that is what it's all about. Open mindedness is another big thing. And I think since the pandemic hit, it's been crazy that there's a ton of interaction with people online, on social media, in a long time. It's been crazy to think about that because, yes, we do interact even before COVID became a thing, but in terms like since the past 3 years to this point, when COVID hit the UK, the the messaging, the addressing, and the separate purpose of connecting with one another on the internet has made a huge difference and has made a big impact. And we should be gracious. We should be gracious to, completely be engaged and fulfill our own time to be here with one another. Despite the politics, despite, the war news and the ongoing, slanders and mentalities, we are just lucky. We are just lucky to still stick together, as people and communicate. Yeah, that's quite a long ramble, but it is what it is. But, like I said, it's crazy. And I am really happy that you guys are still diving in with me to be here with me as I do the same with you lot. And we should appreciate how lucky we really are when living in the pandemic. Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate your time and the experience of knowing you guys as people as well. I know when I see anybody who watches my videos and commenting, even when I watch people on Twitch, these are actual people instead of some fictional character on the internet. The internet's not full of characters, full of the actual real thing in humanity. And what I love about that is there's a lot into feeling the the journey to be introduced to some new faces and to build many new friendships. And the best thing is to enjoy the time you have and put your own mindset into this frame of positivity. This shit's quite philosophical here, but you know, that's the way it turns to be. And you know, I don't mind going into stuff like this because yes, that I'm just a guy on the internet talking about music, and what my main purpose ever since I started this YouTube channel for nearly 14 years now is on music, besides vlogs and updates, and concert reviews and various stuff. But going into a live stream is even more real to me. It's even more of a lively feeling, and to absorb what it's like to say anything on camera completely unedited and fulfill anything um to talk about and say it to an audience. Oh man, I've rambled on so much that you know, time is just zooming in. Um, so we are nearly 10 minutes to an hour and a half, and I'm going to be wrapping this up in about um, say 40 minutes. You're right with enjoying the time you have. You will never know what's right around the corner in your life. That's the thing that I personally don't always want to think about, because you know that time is shit, but you just have to stick with it and, you know, be brave. Because when I had overcome my phobia back in 2021, it has definitely made me feel released and to be completely free to get back to who I am. And, you know, we all have our own separate ways and separate emotions, but just enjoy whatever you love to do and spend time with people who are sticking by you, because, you know, time can be challenging, and, you know, you just wish everything is like all you know, all on the infinity of positivity and with the lifespan. But you know, I don't care that it's limited. It's limited time, but I don't think about life in that way. I think of life as in um you know, a very open vision. It's an open vision to see what many new things would like to come, and present something with an emotion of whatever that is. I really don't know. We don't know, yet alone we go through challenges, and it can be hard, as many people say that life is hard, but I don't see it that way. Ever since that I have made myself a lot better um, in late 21, there's too much shit. There's too much negativity into the planet that we need to keep being engaging, keep filling up the positive mental attitude. Thanks for this discussion. I'm currently going through something at the minute, and this has helped a lot. I appreciate that, Zach. This is some frame of mind that I sometimes do think about, like, by myself, because, you know, yet alone I don't have mental health issues, although I almost went into that mindset when I was in my worst state. Um, but having said that, I did overcome my losing faith and strengths. If you're suffering with mental health, then there is so much time that you can have to improve. Whether it's self-doubt, of anxiety, depression, ADHD, or PTSD, just don't forget that anybody who is a survivor and is trying their best, they are important in this world. And not that I'm like a therapy session type of person, but I do have friends who suffer with those things. They are worthwhile, and there's just a lot of things in your life that you may think it's gonna go rock bottom with the world, crushing everything in your shoulders and paths. But at the same time, there's a weakness that will be defeated. Whatever that is, just so you know, don't excuse me, don't even attempt to give up on anything, even if it's something very serious, because you do have some faith and greatness into your own souls. Cliche, but at the same time, it's the truth. There's a lot of motivational quotes, and it's okay to address these things. And if you find something that's really difficult, don't hesitate. Stop going through the same turmoils and help yourself by addressing these things to people, and they'll help you out. It doesn't always have to be with a therapy session person. It can be helpful for friends or family, or anybody that really does like to try their best to help others. Anyway, that's a bit of, like, it's not a tangent, not a I guess like a ramble, but it's a discussion. Thank you a lot, man. No worries, Zach. Viewers who are still here, please send the love and hearts in the chat for Zach, because even if he has mental health difficulties, don't make him feel left out. Don't make him feel like that he's not a part of anything, because once you have a gift of something, achieve it. And get your goals into completion. Take a lot of your time, step by step, and see where it goes. See where it takes you. Even if it does not complete yourself, if it doesn't feel anything that's done, don't make it hard on yourself. There's loads of attempts to try. And another thing, you are your own boss. No one's going to tell you to stop and start again, or call you this or that, because fuck that. The point of interactions with people, especially for live streaming, is it feels like a different experience. I do love to hang out with you guys and addressing what I've been talking about, and talk about music, Q&As, and bands and albums and stuff, but it's something different in a way when you really feel like that you are in close with a viewer, and anyone who turns up to the stream. It makes things better in my eyes, and it's something that is important at the same time. It's important to help people, keep them entertained through videos, but in person, it's like something different. It's sadly something with my family and illnesses. Well, whatever it is, Zach, apologies to hear that. But I wish your family the best. Um, I am going to send a heart emoji for Zach, and I urge you guys to do the same. There we go. Yeah, a heart for Zach. So, with that being said, guys, I am gonna finish this whole live stream in about half an hour. But this has been great. This has been great for the first live stream of the year. And, you know, don't be afraid to address anything, whether it's not music related or music related, because the purpose of a live stream is to be here for one another and to get yourself back into this positivity. And yes, one of my favorite streams that I did do was my my vinyl collection back in 2021. Yeah, I think 2021. That was one of my favorite live streams I've ever done. Although I haven't done a stream of my whole CD collection, but the problem with that is I haven't reorganized anything from my collection alphabetically. I mean, these shelves, top to bottom, are like the most alphabetical order. The rest are just messy stuff. And I can't be bothered most of the time to, excuse me, to form the alphabetical orders again. To get back to music related stuff, have you done a video of your vinyl collection? Yes, I did say that I have done a live stream of my whole vinyl collection. But yeah, through old videos, I did some back when the collection was, not as growing. Well, no, actually, that's a lie. Was growing, but the collection now has been pretty massive in a way. So, yeah. I still have no idea what I would like to think to address into the purpose of live streams in, excuse me, in various topics other than just music. I'm still planning to live stream once every 2 months, and I will definitely be continuing to do that. And hopefully I will still have a lot of the time that I have for this channel to grow some more album reviews on new stuff. And as well as the other segments, as I already said those things already. Excuse me. I hope to get some more vinyls, one being Slipknot self-titled. The new Slipknot reissues that came out last year, the new Slipknot reissues on vinyl are like not badly priced. I've bought the latest reissue of the self-titled on yellow colored vinyl. But in terms of original pressings, though, it can be very very difficult to get, because a lot of them are really pricey, especially when I bought the original Iowa on vinyl. Crazy. Oh, I'm getting knackered, guys. Sorry I've been absent for a while. I've been fighting a headache after I had smoke alarms detecting for almost 45 minutes. Oh gosh. Consecutively. But I always appreciate your streams when you do them. Thank you so much, Jake. I really appreciate that. Um, and yeah, alarms. I fucking hate alarms. Yet alone, I never turn on my notification sounds on my phone, and especially that I do like to sleep, so I always have my phone on silent. But if I get notifications, I would just hear the phone vibrate. So yeah, I'm not a fan of getting distracted with alarm sounds because it has been sometimes just annoying. But yeah, I do like to keep the peace of my own and not to be bombarded with sounds of notifications through YouTube to Facebook and Instagram, the usual stuff like that. Oops, sorry guys. Notifications. So what are your plans coming up for the week, guys? And I am going to be planning to do some more videos. Hopefully just a few for this week. I will review, I think, probably the new Gorillaz album for the channel, maybe. But I would also like to come back to classic albums revisited because I love that segment. And I am also glad that you guys have enjoyed my last review for the segment of Sabotage Bad Albums. When I did review that Limp Bizkit album. But yes, really glad that you guys enjoyed the stuff. Exercising, more music, and repeat. Exercising for me as well. And I'm going to be streaming more often, which, speaking of, I did one yesterday, and I had over 80 different chatters in the last 2 hours of my stream. That is amazing, mate. Really glad to hear it. Isn't that through Twitch, Jake? Because if you guys fuck off. Sorry, not you guys. Yeah. Sorry about that. If you guys do like to watch Twitch streamers, or some that do gaming streams, I do recommend Sedition Through Scorns on Twitch. I didn't know these streams, so let me see. Let me see if I followed him. Yes, I did follow him, but for some reason I haven't got the notification. Oh, he played Devil May Cry 5. That's cool. Oh, Roscoe. Roscoe's barking outside. Yeah, you may not hear him, but I can. Yes, sir, Twitch exclusively, and I'm going to be doing some more music streams. Some music streams. Sometime in April, in which I'm going to do updates, collections, and discussions every month or every other. That's great. I wish you the best of luck, mate. And, if you haven't followed Sedition Through Scorns, check him out on Twitch. Sedition Through Scorns. It's spelt like this, all in one word. So, yeah. Roscoe! He's making a bloody racket. Roscoe! Roscoe! Shush! Hey! Stop! Roscoe! Yeah, he barks for attention. Well, he just likes to bark, you know, it's like that he's singing. Bloody puppy. I'll check him out. I don't use Twitch at all, but we'll check it out. Ugh. Excuse me. Gotta love being a dog owner. I have one myself, so I know the feeling all too well. Yeah, it has been more than a few years since that we had our last dog, and it was the right time for me and the family to have another pup. Well, another dog, because well, actually, Roscoe's our very first puppy in this direction of the family. 10 months old, and he's a Jack Russell. I have made a video of him just walking around the garden. Shizazzle, sorry I'm late. I know, dude. I'm going to be leaving in 20 minutes. But I'm doing very well, and, you know, glad to see you as always. What have you been up to, Shizazzle? But yeah, Roscoe is doing very well. Still has to, fuck's sake, still has to complete the potty training. The food training is there, but he needs to eat a lot better instead of tree branches and leaves, and just stop destroying plant pots, you know. Mine is an Australian cattle dog with German Shepherd and Husky mix. That's great. Huskies are my favorite breed of any dog. Been watching some horror movies lately. What are some of your favorite horror movies? The Shining, the classic 1980 film, the original Exile on Main Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is my favorite horror film. And I actually really liked some underrated ones, like The Collector. I like Insidious as well. Oh, a German Shepherd. They're lovely. Yeah, German Shepherds are a nice dog breed as well. Shizazzle, Sedition Through Scorns does have a Twitch, and if you love gaming, please do consider following him if you want to. That is, he just played Devil May Cry 5 19 hours ago as I looked through his page, which is great, and let's hopefully see that his channel will go up to 1,000 followers. I mean, I haven't streamed on my Twitch for, you know, a while now. Yeah. So I will say that being on Twitch is a very new experience, and it's something that is really, really fun. I love streaming on YouTube. I will definitely and absolutely stream more on YouTube, but on Twitch, it has to be something that is something like this. Something like this, but we could listen to some music in the background, and I really appreciate it that there's a lot of people who are into the same stuff as I am, like you guys. So it is a wonderful feeling. It is a secondary, not secondary. It's a wonderful feeling to go into a different form of social media. Um, you know, it's something separate to what I do here, but I still enjoy it as much. I don't know why I say the word secondary. Maybe I just got distracted by something online. But anyways, yeah. Sorry guys, just got a bit distracted on something. Um, um, 700. Yes, halfway to 700. I think secondary wasn't the word that I was gonna say. I think it was um second of all. I think that's it. You know, because like I love streaming on YouTube, and second of all, I think being on Twitch, streaming wise, and being on that website is like a different vibe. I think that's what I meant to say. Um, yeah, that is a great start. Halfway to 700. Um, by the way, for the music streams, I will make a poll, and the viewers can decide on what I should talk about. So any suggestions will be greatly appreciated. Um, you heard it here, guys. Just suggest anything on that topic for Jake's Twitch channel. But be careful with the DMCA. That's another thing involving copyrighted stuff there. Because obviously we haven't bought the license to play music that has been officially uh, copyrighted and credited to a band or a solo artist that we own the rights to. Copyright systems there on Twitch is pretty as strict as YouTube's. But yeah, even though YouTube's stuff is more broken, well, you know what I'm saying. I'll see if I can make an account and check it out. That's cool. I will have to play gaming soundtracks or license-free music for the streams. Yes, which is fine, but you can't be credited songs. I think some 8-bit versions of rock or metal music will be a good thing. Like, 8-bit stuff. Some 8-bit stuff's very cool to listen to, instead of just listening to the actual tracks all the time. It makes it something creative and, um, excuse me, and unique. I'm gonna hydrate with more water, guys, so be right back. Oh dear. Yeah, so Roscoe is still out there making a racket, guys. 8-bit music is cool. Sounds like a Mario soundtrack or something else. Yeah, it can be like that. Some 16-bit music of songs is very cool to listen to as well. But I do like to think that the 8-bit versions of metal songs can go a treat. Like the Black Sabbaths to the Metallicas. But yeah, it is a neat idea to, not listen to actual copyrighted paid music, but to listen to a different sounding version of a song, just to keep it all safe, which is another thing that you could consider of doing. Uh, Uh, There's even medieval versions for System of a Downs on YouTube, which is super dope. Yeah, it does sound dope. It does sound dope, mate. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up in 10 minutes. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to the stream, and I really appreciate it. Glad to see you again, to Zach, Sedition, and Shizazzle, to Midnight Social, and Ryan, John, and GG. Yeah, I had to scroll the screen. Yeah, that does sound interesting. And it makes music sound even more, I would say, bigger, because of people making and putting in a different version or a different sound of a song or songs that we love. This is why I think art is still as important in the entertainment form. And we love many different versions of songs from bands and artists, but to think of something that is just as brilliant and profound, you know, it just makes art even more fun and still as engaging worldwide to keep supporting it. And I am really happy that Hardgraft are now sharing and spreading some more art into what we have for original songs. So we are going to be coming into our fifth original song, and with what we have so far, it's just been striking and absolutely great, to the absolute max. Anything you guys want to ask me before I will wrap this up? Because it's nearly that time again to conclude this type of stream like I do with my other ones, and fulfill a lot of the joy, and get interactive. Oh god, tired, guys. Ugh, as I said that earlier on. In terms of the suggestions for your stream, Jake, I guess the poll for voting, that for the viewers to decide on what they pick for you, that can be a good idea, but suggestions like talking about music, maybe talk about your biggest influences, your most favorite albums to listen to, stuff like that. Those are like some ideas that I have. Thoughts on the new Mastodon that came out was a couple of years ago. I have already talked about Mastodon's new album, Hushed and Grim. I have reviewed it, but Hushed and Grim is to me a great album from Mastodon, and this is personally for me their strongest record since probably Crack the Sky. I mean, I really liked Hushed and Grim a lot that this has just grown to be one of my favourite Mastodon albums. Besides a few tracks that I personally don't connect with as much, but a lot of the stuff that I have listened to on this album, it is amazing. It's an amazing album from one of my favourite metal bands of all time. Yeah. I could go over influences that inspired me to be a music fanatic from essential albums up to current day of extreme music, or I can go over a genre and recommend Fans for Starters. Now that part, that's really, really good. I like that starting point for the newcomers to get into what genre that it may be. Excuse me. That album took a bit for me to dive into and get. Now I quite like it. The album got me pretty much straight away. I'm quite surprised that some of the feedback was still visible. I think my least favorite Mastodon album is The Hunter. The Hunter's good, but I haven't reviewed it. Yet alone, I've not reviewed Crack the Sky. I've not reviewed Emperor of Sand. So I have reviewed pretty much half of the band's discography. But when I will be reviewing Crack the Sky, I would go really long with that album. Because that album to me is one of the greatest pieces of metal music ever recorded. But Mastodon are one of my top 10 metal bands of all time. For me, it might be Leviathan, as my least favourite, funnily enough, might need more listens, though. Fair enough. One last music question. What are your stance about Fear Factory's new singer that just announced not long ago? Words! I was really happy with the male vocalist choice. And I have not heard his sound with Fear Factory's music. I already knew that it was not going to work out because of my guess. There were weird rumors, talks of having a female vocalist. That wouldn't have worked. Not that I am, against, vocalists in metal who are women, because I love a lot of them. It's just that Burton C. Bell and Dino Cazares were the sound of Fear Factory. But Fear Factory is Dino's baby. So, but yet alone, Burton had made an important sound in Fear Factory's music. But I will give this new vocalist a lot of the wishes and the best of lucks and respect. I hope he will do Fear Factory justice. Midnight Social, I know your love of Joey Jordison. What did you think of his other bands outside of Slipknot? I did like what he did briefly with Roadrunner United. Murder Dolls, I actually quite enjoyed Murder Dolls. But in terms of the other ones, I don't think I've heard the other ones that he was involved in. But yeah, I do remember specifically Murder Dolls. When I was getting into metal music, I got the Scar the Martyr CD recently. That was the band. I think that he was a part of. Scar the Martyr. Yeah, that band's pretty good. Pretty solid band that he was a part of. I always think of Joey when I listen to Slipknot. It's obvious, but it is that big form of nostalgia, and it's just amazing. What is the most trippy album you have heard? The most trippy album that I have heard was possibly a Brain Ticket album. I can't remember what it's called. Let me know, Wikipedia, what it is called. Brain Ticket with the album. Um, Cottonwood Hill, a very experimental krautrock band from the early 70s. That is very, very trippy. Um, they only made one album, sadly. Yeah, I know, but pretty solid band. So, with that being said, guys, that is all the time that I have for being with you guys. And thank you guys for the small amount of questions. Thank you all for participating on this experience of live streaming on YouTube. And much love to Zach, by the way, for the importance and the acceptance of what my ramble was like in terms of like the philosophical and personal talks on what I was talking about earlier on. But I appreciate all of you being here for the videos and the entertainment, and keep supporting everything that you love, and keep being here for one another. As I said a lot of times now, but it is mega important, especially in this day and age. Next stream be April, which is my birthday month. That is hopefully the time that you will be coming into the stream this time, Jake. And I promise to do the stream on your birthday if I am free. But I hope you will be popping in. Yeah, because last year, I can't believe it's nearly a year now. Can't believe it's been almost a year since I had done a previous stream to celebrate your birthday. Yeah, you were sick. That's understandable. But anyways, I hope you will be popping into late April's stream. With that being said, guys, cheers to you all for coming in with me to chill and hang out in this stream. Peace and love. Much love to you all. New videos to come as always. And thank you guys, as always, for being who you are, choosing to believe in yourselves and, look after each other. So, cheers, guys. Thank you, guys. I will see you in the next stream.